that was covered by a shadow from a nearby window, and it was just like a little manhole with like a sewer manhole, and it would go up to a small room above the attic. This is a very, very large quote in Vladislav's survival and his mental stability. Wilhelm states, "If you and I have survived this inferno for 5 years," he replied, "it's obviously God's will for us to live." Spiltzman 181. This gives Vladislav hope, along with all the war news Wilhelm brings him. He sees the point, well, yeah, you're right, I have lived this long in this terrible place, and it must be God's will. He's wanting me to survive. Wilhelm also brings Vladislav news of the war's end, because when they meet, the war is dying down. Vladislav questions, where are the Soviet troops? They're already in Warsaw, in Praga, on the other side of the Vistula. Just hang on a few more weeks, the war will be over by spring at the latest. Just that small piece of information in a whole large network of military reports that he could have told them. It's very important, it's very momentous. For one, it's the war's end, but it also changes Vladislav's perspective yet again. While he's talking to Wilhelm, and while he sees him every once in a while, Wilhelm always makes a comment or says something that makes Vladislav's perspective more evolve into the positive one that he originally had when he was just a pianist doing what he loves. And the Inferno quote about how you and me have survived for 5 years, that really sets off Vladislav's non-suicidal thoughts, that he stops thinking about that. Well, he starts to, and then after the war will be over soon, that quote, that really, really sets off a spark, and Vladislav starts to look at life differently. And his perspective changes drastically from the one that was, oh, what's the point in life? There's no reason I'm alive. I shouldn't live. Into, well, the war will be over. I'll pick myself up and make a new life for myself. This is such, those two quotes that he says out of the many things he has said, they change Vladislav's perspective momentously. So not only does Wilhelm nourish Vladislav mentally, give him his mental stability back, he also brings him food. He brings him a military overcoat to keep him warm during the freezing Poland weather. So he's a very important character, and the amount of perspective changes, he lets Vladislav pass over the wall where he was at. He was stuck at a wall where it was, what's the point in life? I don't see it. He helped him get a ladder, climb over that wall, and get to the point where he has hope. He sees the light in life. He's thinking, well, I'll make a new life for myself. There's always good in the world. It's kind of like he starts to think more like Jehuda, like what Jehuda taught him to be optimistic. He just has had trouble with that because he's been so suppressed by all the negativity around him and all the German brutality. So Wilhelm actually results in the biggest perspective change in the book. He stops Vladislav's not much so negativity, but depression. He lets him see the point in life. He guides him to the light in the world. He guides him to optimism that he hasn't felt in a long, long time. Next, we'll be looking at events that change Vladislav's perspective.